Hey, welcome back. Today, I want to talk about as small business owners, 5 tips to boost your profits and save you time. As small business owners, we wear a lot of hats. We wear the hat of the salesperson, of the accounting department, of the marketing department, of inventory control and product development. We do it all because that's how we grew our companies. We came up with the idea. We maybe came up with the name and the logo, and we found the spot to locate our business. But realistically, the only commodity that we can't control, as much as I like to say it, because I'm kind of a control freak, is time. Time's limitless. We only have so many hours in the day, so many days in the week, so many weeks in the year, and so much time to actually turn a profit, which is why time tends to be much more valuable as you go forward with your business. And how do you maximize it? Because at the end of the day, we all want to make money and we all want to make profits. So here are 5 things that I can help you save more time and build your profits. Number 1, I'm going to ask you something that sometimes might be a little hard to answer. Do you work on your business or do you work in your business? That's a tough one. I think if you're a solopreneur and those people that are just, your small business owners and startups, you don't have anyone else on your staff right now. That's okay. That's a lot of us. And so many times you have to work in your business and on your business at the exact same time. But where I'm going with this is that the more you work in your business, the less you are able to work on your business to expand yourself, to grow profits, to grow marketability, and to grow market share. So as we think about these 2 aspects, my goal for you to be able to grow your profits and maximize your time is to find a way to work more on your business versus in your business. Now, how the heck do we do that? Well, let's talk about that too. We wear a lot of hats, like I said before, and this is really is an exercise to find out exactly what you do every day and then identify areas where you can outsource it. So number 2, I'm going to have you list everything you do for your business. What? That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a long list. Might be pages long. I mean, if you really think about it, I want you to get into the finite details. Get a notebook, paper, keep writing, do a brain dump, everything from, I don't know, taking out the trash to washing windows to managing your vendor relationships to picking up copy paper at the office supply store. You probably do a lot of things. You wear a lot of hats. Write it all down. I mean, this is a great exercise. What it's going to show you is that because you wear a lot of hats and because you manage your business, how many things you actually don't need to take care of. So number 3, you take that list. Here's the way to maximize your time. Take that list, circle only the items that make you money. Now, I know sometimes I get challenged with clients when I'm asking them these questions. Only the things that make me money? Yeah. So honestly, taking out trash, managing vendor relationships, picking up copy paper from the office supply store does not make you money. It is an indirect way. Yes, it needs to happen to support your business, but does it actually move the dial and turn a profit for your business? That is a no. So focus on those activities that only create profits. So these are going to be things like new client development, customer orders, contract development, things like that. Marketing might fall into there, but marketing, not necessarily the development of the marketing, but it could be the implementation of the marketing. So let's circle some things down. Okay, if you've ever heard of the 80-20 rule, 80-20 means that 20% of the activities you do actually are going to generate 80% of your total profit or your total income. And it's a system that's been tested over time, and really think about how you need to use your time and how effective you can be. And the reason why have you made this list is because I want you to identify all the things, the 100%. We're going to cut it down to 20 items or 20% of those things. Let's say you did 100, so it'll be 20 items are the most effective and actually create money in your pocket for your business. That's what we need to focus on. So you're like, what do I do with the rest of the 80%? So here's where you get creative. And here's where you start making some decisions and maximizing your time. So for the rest, ask yourself, number 1, is this necessary to do? 2, can it be delegated or done by somebody else? I know a number of years ago, I used to crank out a monthly report for each of my clients. And here's what I found out: it was timely to do the report, it wasn't automated, it was physical. And what I realized is that my clients, yes, they liked the information that was on it, but more importantly, they wanted some candid feedback from me. And so instead of providing them a written report every month, I made sure to reach out to them and have even just a 5-minute conversation. Hey, let me give you some updates as what the market's happening. That was a lot faster communication. It allowed me to have some dialogue with my clients. And honestly, the 5-minute conversation I had with them was a lot shorter than me trying to crank out a report and pull data from a lot of different sources that, quite honestly, I could deliver in a much different context. Now, granted, there are plenty of wonderful CRM systems that can help you log data in a more effective and efficient way. So consider using things like that. But thinking about, are other things necessary? Is it necessary that you do certain activities, that you present things a certain way? And I like to ask my clients the same question. Is 100% what you're looking for when you put something together, or is 75 or 80% good enough? I want you to get really comfortable thinking 75 to 80% is good enough. What I mean is that any marketing that goes out. Now, yes, you want to have spelling errors and grammatical errors corrected. Of course you do. You want something that looks polished. But is it perfect like you would want it? Going back to my control freak side of me, when I first started my company, I wore all the hats. I wore the marketing hat and the accounting hat and all those kinds of things. And when I started designing marketing templates for use in my business, yes, I wanted them to be perfect because I wanted to maintain a certain image and style of professionalism. About a year after that, when I hired my marketing director, now her style and creativity was a little different. It's amazing, but it's different than mine. And I needed to get comfortable trusting her because she's a smart person. And honestly, she does marketing way better than I could ever do it. Her version is different than mine. Doesn't mean that it's better or worse. It's just not mine. And so I needed to let that go because what I realized, it took me a year to make the decision to even hire her. And she was my first hire. It took me a year to hire her. And looking back on it, I should have hired her a month in because the amount of time and energy she saved me was instantaneous. What she's able to do in 10 or 20 hours a week would take me much more than that and took me away from those income producing activities. So there you go. That's one great example of a decision that I had to make. And it was hard to make because, as you are starting your business and growing a business, your bottom line is important to you and you want to maximize your profits. And so if you think about, well, if I'm spending money hiring someone to do something, that's cutting into my profits. But I want you to flip that a little bit. Think about what you do best. And this is the last, number 5. What do you do the best? Look at all those items on the list that you just made. And you circle the ones that make you profit and actually bring you a profit, right? What are the ones that you do the best on that list? Maybe you're the best at putting those presentations together. Maybe you're the best at research. So, who else in your world or your company, or can you outsource that can handle those other things much better than you can? I think the lesson that I learned that was really hard for me to digest is that somebody out there can actually do something better than I can. What? Is this possible? Yes, it absolutely is. That's why there's specialties in almost every industry that we come across, and give people that clout to do it. I know that my marketing director is so much better at marketing than I am. And so I trust her. And she comes to me with some great ideas. I also lean on a lot of other experts in the field. Hey, I don't know everything there is to know about social media. I don't know everything there is to know about podcasting. So I lean on other experts and other people to show me the way, because I could very easily jump on YouTube or Google and try to find it and clunk through it by myself. And then I'm probably beating my head against the wall because I'm not doing it very well. So the power in our environment that we exist nowadays is the ability to hire virtual assistants. There are people all over the world that have expertise in lots of different areas. And what you're going to find out, trust me, I know this. What you're going to find out is they can probably do that activity for you, 1, more effectively, and 2, much more efficiently. If you break down the amount of hours you spend doing something, so let's say if you had to create a new marketing flyer for a product or service you were trying to sell. And maybe on average, that took you 4 hours of your time. So let's figure out, how much do you get paid an hour? Well, An easy way to kind of do the math, figure out what you made last year. Let's say, for example, you made $100,000 last year and you work, for simple math purposes, you work a 40-hour work week. So that's roughly $50 an hour that you pay yourself in your business. And so if we use that math, let's say that flyer took you 4 hours of time times $50 an hour. That means if you spent $200 for one flyer for doing that. So let me ask you this. Let's say you were to hire somebody in a virtual environment, I guarantee you they could probably crank out that flyer in 30 minutes or maybe an hour, or get you a template so you can use it for a lot of other things for a lot less time and a lot less money, because it's something they do every day and it's like they can do it in their sleep. And so I really want you to think about utilizing those resources much more effectively. In fact, you can hire virtual assistants for all kinds of things. Marketing is one example. You could also use it for brand development, photography, social media, accounting, all kinds of different things that you can use virtual assistants for. It's amazing. And there's a lot of talent out there and a lot of people that know how to do things better than you do. So don't shy away from it. The last thing I want to cover before we wrap it up today is getting comfortable asking questions. Nobody expects you to know how to do everything for your business. And quite honestly, you're going to stumble. I sure did. You're going to stumble and you're going to go in different directions and you're going to try something and it's not going to work and you're going to pivot again and you're thinking, but that's the business process. That's the beauty of it. So the name of the game here is to find your way, be open to change, be open to bringing in new ideas, and be open to the possibility. I learn something new almost every day by what people share with me and how they run their business, but don't be afraid to ask. In fact, that's one of the most stimulating conversations that you can have with others, even if they're not an exact fit for your industry. Somebody else has a great presence online on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. Reach out to them and say, "Hey, how did you do this? What kind of format do you use? Do you use Canva design? Do you use a certain type of software platform to help you put these things together? What do you use? What kind of microphone do you use? What kind of camera setup and lighting? Show me the behind the scenes. How does this work? Does it have to be expensive? How can I make this functional and how can I make it easier for me?" I know when I started my podcast a number of years ago, I tried a lot of different modules, whether it was a handheld task cam. I used to record in my closet because the acoustics were really good. I've tried out different microphone systems, different lighting systems, different backgrounds. It's all kind of fun. It's fun to mix it up sometimes, but I also think about the power in me talking to you through this medium is to share information, to share my experiences in the trenches being a business owner and working with other small business owners and really maximizing the time it takes to do that. So what I know I can't do is get clunky and clumsy with the whole process. I need to make it easy. I need to make it streamlined as possible. And I need to make the recording mechanism that I do it on transfer very easily from the recording side to the publishing side. So let me talk to you about a little bit how I do that, and I can cover this in another podcast. The recording software I use right now is called Riverside. It's a high definition video software. It also does audio. I've used a variety of different microphones. There's lots of ones you can use. Rode is a pretty popular one. It tends to be a little more expensive, but I think it's also, you can find a variety of microphones online. And this one happens to be plugged in with the USB cable right to my laptop. Actually record from my laptop. I don't use a special camera system because the Riverside video software, it's just riverside.com, allows you to capture the video footage and then download it in a high definition format, which is great. It also has an AI technology tool built right in there. And so I'm kind of killing multiple doors with one stone per se, because I can record audio and video. And if I have an interview, we can record right on Riverside with the link that I share, almost like you would a Zoom call. It has an AI tool. It can provide transcripts for me. It can provide show notes. It can even cut it down into smaller bite-sized pieces if I want to. I can edit it on there. It makes it really easy. And it's kind of that one-stop shop for video production that I can do all by myself. I've recently hired a new virtual assistant to help me do some social media clips from my podcast recordings. And I thought, if this is something I can do myself, yeah, because technically we can do anything ourselves, right? But here's the beauty of it. She is able to pull the raw video footage, and make it into these beautiful little clips that are a minute or less. So it's perfect for Instagram Reels, is perfect for YouTube Shorts. It's all packaged up. She has background music. You're probably watching one of these clips today, and has the captions in front. It looks polished and professional and a lot of fun. And honestly, she can crank these suckers out fast, much faster than it would take me to do. So that's a value to me. Because where I want to grow my business is through outreach, is through connecting with people like you. And how do I do that the best while still continuing to make a profit on my main line of business? Is outsourcing, and realize that, the most effective way I can do it is to figure out what I do best and let others do the rest. So what I do best is sharing my story. I want to challenge you what you do best at. How are you maximize your time? So I hope as we've covered today, if we talk about those top 5 tips, I'm going to go through them once again. 1, are you asking yourself, are you working on your business or in your business? Because the goal here is to get you to work on your business more than physically in your business, because then you'll build your profits. You're building a company that has value. Because if you happen to step away, does that company fail? I hope not. Number 2, I know you wear a lot of hats, as we business owners always do. And the biggest question is, who do I hire first? And that number 3 is talking about, well, how to determine that is I want you to make a list of all the things you do. All the things you do in your business every day, every week, every month. It's going to be long. It's going to be really long. But write them down, because number 4, I've asked you to take that list, circle only those items that make you a profit. Only those items that make you a profit. Think hard about that. If it doesn't physically lead to a sale, it doesn't get circled on the list. And for the rest of them, this is number 5, for the rest of the items on the list, ask yourself a question. Is it necessary that I continue to do this thing? That's a tough one. It's kind of like cleaning out your closet. When you take out that old shirt, you're like, God, I love this shirt. It was so fun to go buy. And I remember that event I went to. Is it old and haggard? Does it need to go in the trash? Does it need to go in the donate bin? Or is it a tried and true classic that you're like, yep, this stays with me all the time? That's kind of the test I like to go with. But for the rest, is it something that's necessary, or can you delegate it and make a plan for that? Because realizing that other people in your world, believe it or not, there's lots more people that are smarter at you at certain tasks than you are. I know it's hard to believe. But as you grow your company, name of the game, maximize your time, boost your profits.